look at me with that hurtful line, hoping I would fall apart. I wonder how I let you make me cry. Foolish girl. She's living like an animal. Where the party at? Calling all my girls. Every day's a Friday night. Let me put my swag on so I can get my groove on. Syrup in my hand, watch me bring the house down now. Let me put my swag on so I can get my groove on. Syrup in my hand, watch me. It doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter what you say.
Lights on, camera action, mics on, so listen up, cause I've heard enough, don't like it tough, cause life's rough, so man up man, let me put my swag on so I can get my groove on, syrup in my hand, watch me bring the house down now, let me put my swag on so I can get my groove on, syrup in my hand, watch me down.
Say.
It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter what you say.
It doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter what you say.
Good day and a big welcome to Trendz here on the SABC News channel. That was the sound of Lelo Green playing us in with her single Doesn't Matter. Now this is Trendz, of course, your one-stop serving of all that's juicy and trending in the world of entertainment and showbiz. My name, of course, is Refil Wemwilwa. Follow me on Twitter at Refil Wemwilwa, or the show's handle is at Trendz on SABC, and interact with us to give us the 411 of all that's happening in your part of the continent in showbiz. First up, as always, let's do local and international entertainment news making headlines.
Congratulations are in order for Miss South Africa 2016 Nkosi Kunene, who graduated with an honours degree in curriculum issues on Monday at the University of Witwatersrand. It always seems impossible until it's done. A quote by the late Nelson Mandela she captioned on the picture she posted of herself in her graduation gown on Instagram. The beauty queen is passionate about contributing to the education of South Africa, staying true to the plans of her reign. Local casting director Monine Lee is the only South African to be chosen amongst the 683 film professionals invited to become members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Lee has 43 years of experience in the industry, working on cinematic masterpieces like Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, Life Above All, Hotel Rwanda, and Tsotsi. The SA Film and Television Academy Lifetime Achievement Award winner Monine's casting ability in films has seen her play a critical role in actors being nominated for and winning Golden Horn Awards, Academy Awards, and Golden Globe Awards.
Today's the day! Our field trip to the Stingray Migration.
Stingray Migration.
The The Pixar sequel Finding Dory led the box office for the third straight weekend ahead of big-budget debuts of The Legend of Tarzan and Steven Spielberg's Roald Dahl adaptation, The BFG. The new releases left the weekend to Dory again, which came in at number 1 with $41.9 million US. The Disney film is grossed $538.2 million US globally in 3 weeks.
Totally sick!
Isn't it great?
No! I'm gonna be totally sick!
Can you help me?
Sorry, not a great swimmer.
I think you swim beautifully.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait,
Now, Eastern Cape writer, filmmaker and photographer Lidudu Malingani has won this year's Caine Prize for African Writing. Described as Africa's leading literary award, it comes with a 190,000 Rand cash prize, appearances at several literary festivals across the continent, and a month-long residency at Georgetown University in the American capital of Washington, D.C. Now in its 17th year, the prize recognizes the literary talent of African writers through their short stories, and Lidudu won for his short story titled Memories We Lost. Our reporter Catherine Drew sat down with the author shortly after his win was announced.
I was a little shocked. I mean, it comes down to really good 5 stories, right? And they have to like choose a winner. I don't know how they do that. So I had my bets on certain people. So you know, I was a little shocked, but I'm also very excited about it. It's really been a good few hours.
And it comes with some great prizes too.
Yeah, I mean, not so much the money for me. I think the time that the money affords one to create work is important for me, because that's what I want to do. So I'm excited about that, and also I'm excited about having been here and meeting everyone here in London, and when we were in Oxford meeting a lot of amazing people that I've always looked up to.
Tell us about your short story, Memories We Lost.
My story is about mental illness, and it at the heart of it, it's about 2 generations. One, the older generation, who's I suppose represented by my mother, but also represented to sort of a larger extent by the community. And then the younger generation are the 2 sisters who are sort of like fighting with the community and their views about mental illness. So that's what the story is about.
The story, of course, deals with mental illness and how that is treated in a traditional South African setting. What were you trying to say?
More than anything, I was hoping to get across a story that has compassion for its characters, and also not just the characters, but the way the characters live. So I wanted to write a story that, as much as I present you know, an old generation who might have very dangerous ways, or what we assume are dangerous ways, to deal with mental illness, I wanted to do that in the most compassionate way, because for them that's the way they do it, and that's, you know, that's important to them, and I was trying to present a very non-judgmental story.
Nice one, congratulations to him. Now, the Society of Performing Arts, a dance school in Nigeria, is set on taking ballet out onto the streets of Lagos. The organization hopes to make the Western dance form more accessible to a larger audience by giving lessons to the community.
Downtown Lagos, this group of dancers go through their paces, repeating turns and plies. Many of the dancers here have never encountered ballet before. Some thought this style of dance was too Western and were reluctant to join the classes.
We saw it a lot on TV, and we looked at it like something that probably could not be taught to us, because we thought it was like a white man dance, or probably something it's their culture and all that, because we have our culture and our own kind of dance style. But when I came to Spain and I actually had to learn ballet, it actually taught me that it's not just about culture, because dance is a language.
Since its inception in 2004, Spain has had over 100 dancers. 12-year-old Alexis Gedebe is one of the younger performers. She says she enjoys other forms of dance, but ballet is her first love.
I don't really do anything else but ballet. Sometimes I may do a little hip hop in my room, sometimes by myself. But Nigerian dance, I find it's very interesting, and it has the loud and how do I say, it comes out to people and it makes people smile when people dance in the Nigerian culture of dance.
With a diversity of traditions and cultures, Nigeria has a rich performing arts history. Contemporary dancers often incorporate traditional African dance forms in their work. Spen's founder, Sarah Bullis, a Lebanese Nigerian, decided to start the school after she noticed how important dance was in local communities.
We have a very well-received audience when it comes to dance, and even when it comes to music with dance. So we're very excited about that. Nigerian community is very open-minded because they're starting to love that Span is part of Lagos. Span is part of Nigeria. Span has raised children, Nigerian children, to become successful, to open bank account and have families. So when we have a Span event, they will come and they will watch and they will enjoy.
Young hip-hop dancers at Span have added ballet to their repertoire. They say the 16th century dance form has made them stronger performers and enhanced their creativity.
Popularly known for her hit song Tina Sobabili, in collaboration with DJ Bongs, Durban-born singer and songwriter Lelo Green has now gone solo. She's just returned from the Essence Fest in New Orleans in the United States, where she performed on a stage graced by an amazing star-studded lineup, the likes of your Kendrick Lamar's, P. Diddy's and Sierra. And I'm so glad to be sitting with this lady here. Dynamite, thank you for, opening the show with your amazing song, and welcome to Trendz.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here.
I mean, Lelo Green, so formally we know you as someone who has sung a lot and doing more house-orientated type of music, and now this is clearly, a more pop sound. Tell us how that came about.
Well, I'll be honest, like pop has always been my dream passion thing that I had on the side, and was always the one thing that I really wanted to do. So I just got to that point where I was like, you know what, follow your heart and do what you really want to do. And if it works, then it's going to be amazing, because you're like, I experienced my dream.
Yes.
So that was the defining factor for me, which was like, let me just do me.
Right.
Enjoy the ride.
And I mean, here you are saying you're going to follow the path that you want to do, because you have been wanting to do pop for so long, and you're invited to the Essence Fest.
I know.
My goodness.
Can you imagine?
Tell us about that experience. Jeez.
Oh, it was overwhelming. It was wonderful. It was like, it was an eye-opener. Like, it literally made me realize that I am in the right path, because I never in my entire life thought I would actually go there. I mean, that show is huge. It is ginormous.
Did you get to meet any of the stars? Did you, I mean, just being in that auditorium and even backstage, I'm sure must have been mayhem and craziness.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Just seeing them, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I want to go say hi, but I'm scared. Like,
no, you must never. My gosh, oh wow.
You see these, you're like, oh my god, there's Babyface. There's Killer Timo. It's
they
like,
were all
wow,
there.
Like, it was a life-changing experience.
Fantastic. And how was, the reception to your music? Being a South African artist, of course, and you're doing pop, and of course there's a little bit of a hook in there that, in the song, and it's like quite relatable to stuff that, Americans also do.
Yeah, the response was wonderful. They really loved. Like, I remember backstage, this guy, when I finished performing, he's like, you pack a whole lot of pipes, girl, you can sing. And I was like, wow. And then they actually asked me for a performance the next day.
Really?
So I was quite impressed that they kind of did love me. I felt that vibe. They were, even when I was doing my sound check, like, people would come like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, who's
like,
this girl?
You, wow, like, nice.
Tell us about the name Lelo Green. Fantastic stage name, of course, but that's not your real name. Your real name is?
SABC.
Okay, so how did we do the whole Lelo Green thing?
Well, because I consider myself an artist.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
I decided to just, be playful with my name. I felt like Tapsile, it's too timid, for pop. So I was like, if I do Lelo Green, it's an easy name, and I love color. I work with color. So I was like, Lelo Green, it's easy on the ear, it's colorful and it's fun and it's a pop name.
I definitely agree.
That's how I came about it.
Okay. And who are the producers that you work with on your music now?
Well, I only worked with two guys. It's Piwe and TK, because this is just an EP.
Okay.
So we haven't really done the full album yet. So it's just testing the market. So by doing that, I just worked with two brilliant guys who really understood the style that I wanted to do, and they gave me the freedom to explore.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And the writing, I mean, are you doing that just solely by yourself, or on the album do you think you'll have other people who might write for you?
With this album, with this project, we definitely collaborated with just us, and there was a lady who I worked with as well in the project. But I also do a whole lot of songwriting, you know, as I feel like you unleash your creativity in it.
Yes.
But definitely, even with the album, when I do the full album, I'll definitely ask for help, because, I mean, no man is an island. It's always better to have other people
of course,
to add
and to
inside.
collaborate, a collaborative effort.
Yes.
Fantastic. So where can people hear your sound, download your song? Just tell us all of that quickly as we wrap up.
My music is on iTunes right now, but also if you go to like social media, I'm there, Instagram, Lelo Green is there, Facebook is
And it's
there.
Lelo spelled Lello.
Yes,
right.
Lelo, not Lel, I don't know.
All right, cool. Okay, fantastic, Lelo. All the best to you. Congratulations for your performance at the Essence Fest.
Thank
you. Yeah, we'll be looking out for your music in future.
Thank you. And before I go, I would love to say a big thank you to Mr. Tebinkosi Ngobo. I'm from the arts and culture.
All right.
He was the guy that picked me up, so I'm really grateful for the opportunity you have. Literally, you have made my dreams come true.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lelo. Stay tuned. After the break, we're back with more on Trendz. Welcome back. You're still watching Trendz. Significant exhibitions, installations, interventions and art industry discussions will be taking place at the Goodman Galleries both in Johannesburg and Cape Town to celebrate their 50 years at the forefront of the art world. Throughout 5 decades, the gallery has forged change through artistic production and dialogue, shaping contemporary art within and beyond the continent. Trendz visited the Goodman Gallery here in Johannesburg, where an exhibition curated by Lisa Essers titled New Revolution is currently on.
Contrary to times in history when the black man was treated as a mere slave, it's time the world realized black lives.
By Linda Goodman, and has featured many works of artists from across the globe.
It's really a huge event for us. It's a rare thing. There's only one gallery older in South Africa, but we think we might be one of the oldest 3 on the continent. And it's quite unusual for a gallery to go on for this length of time and keep a good reputation in terms of being actively involved in social and political life of South Africa. And we really have been. It's been a fascinating place to be and to watch.
This exhibition is titled New Revolutions, and it offers an overview of the artists presented by the gallery over its 5 decades. The exhibition celebrates the values of the gallery ever since it opened in apartheid-era South Africa and sees the work of artists who are still alive, dead, and the upcoming ones.
The challenge, of course, is always to keep the public interest alive. We look very jealously at sport and even music to a degree, which get a lot more active corporate and even official governmental sponsorships. And partly the reason for that is that the audience is that much bigger. So we still believe one of our biggest audiences is to grow. That's one of our biggest challenges, is to grow the audience.
The Goodman Gallery represents a number of highly acclaimed South African artists, including the deceased Dumile Feni, who died in exile, Kenneth Braids, William Kettridge, and David Goldblatt, amongst others.
Some of the things that have stayed the same are that artists need to be bold enough to stand up for what they believe. There is still a question that if you are going to poke fingers and question the status quo, you need to be brave enough to stand up and talk to that yourself as well as your gallery. I think what has probably been the most effective and most important change is that a long time ago, and when I first started visiting the gallery before I joined it, one often felt you were showing some of the most prominent Soweto-based artists in South Africa's history, and almost all of the audience was white.
The exhibition opened in the month of June and was meant to run until the 4th of July, but due to a greater demand of the gallery visitors, the exhibition was extended till August.
A big congratulations to the Goodman Gallery celebrating 50 years. And now the massacre that took place in Marikana 4 years ago is a tragedy that will long live in the hearts of many a South African. And while the wounds heal, they have inspired some to reflect on society at large.
Contrary to times in history when the black man was treated as a mere slave, it's time the world realized black lives do matter. Following August 2012 and the damage caused when 34 miners were killed, director Joseph Oesi and his crew began working on a film that would bring to light the inner workings of the mining industry, titled Black Lives Matter.
The story is actually about a painting. I have a radical painter by the name of Ayanda Mabulu who paints this painting about non-being and existence of black people in this country. And it's really a painting that is dedicated to the 34 people that were massacred in Marikana. And he titles the painting that Black Lives Matter. And it's all about how, in a sense, still in South Africa things have not changed, and how the black man's life really doesn't matter because it seems to be so expandable, especially with big corporations. And the mining industry is like, where it happens the most.
With this documentary, Oesi hopes to educate, inform and showcase the stories of everyday people rather than politicians who, in his opinion, do not deserve the spotlight.
The movie is really a personal account of mine, of coming back and coming to terms with the fact that what we fought for has not been realized. And it is looking at what happened to the promises. And the second part is really entitled Promises and Betrayals. And it's really trying to take into accountability where we've come from and where we are going and why we are at this juncture. So we deal with things like corruption and all sorts of things in the movie. So it really is like a personal account and feeling that there is a slight disappointment that we have not met our target and the dream is shattered.
The film was made over 4 years with an extremely tight budget, but Oesi is proud of the end product and that it screened for the first time at the Durban International Film Festival this year, with hopes of it traveling to many other festivals around the world.
The movie I made, I know that it is not a very commercial type of movie, hence we go to the festivals. We know that there is definitely an audience for this type of movies, right? And it's a really deep look, or we try to look deeply into our own situation here, and so that people would be able to analyze and look at it with a much broader view and more informed in a sense, yeah.
Black Lives Matter is one of a number of films inspired by the Marikana massacre, including Rihad Desai's 2013 film, Miners Shot Down, which won an Emmy Award last year.
South African chart-topping musical great of over 40 years, Mr. Johnny Clegg, is back with the release of a new album titled Johnny Clegg 2016, where his best-loved classics will take on a whole new adventure. His classics have been reworked and transformed into dance floor anthems. And cherry on top, world-renowned director Jaron Clegg directed his Dad's Taking Flight music video, which will be dropping here on Trendz. You don't want to miss that. Welcome, gentlemen, Mr. Clegg Sr. and Mr. Clegg Jr.
Hello.
My goodness, I would have never thought I'd be sitting here. Mr. Johnny Clegg, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Looking good?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Trying.
No, you definitely are. But I mean, my goodness, you started, at a time when your music was very new. People have sampled your work. People have, you know what I mean? Your music is definitely part and parcel of the South African musical landscape. And here you are, but now doing something very different. Tell us how this whole thing came about.
Well, basically, I have 18 albums, and I have a publisher who tries to revitalize the catalogue.
Yeah.
And he does that by offering the songs to movies, to TV series, and to get other artists to cover them.
Yeah.
So that's all been done now
Yeah.
over this period. So he decided to take and took some of the songs and had them remixed by DJs from all around the world, including South Africa.
Wow. Did you have a say in any of these?
I had no say in it because that's his job.
Okay.
So he sent me the first one, which I listened to, and I was quite amazed that some of my work could be translated in this way, because I never ever envisaged that this would happen. Because when you write a song, you have an idea about it, you know.
Of course.
And the other thing is, as a songwriter, you're always interested in how other artists perceive or experience your music. And so you have a verse and you have a chorus in the structure, and they will take the middle 8 and make that into the song.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
and they ignore all the rest.
Completely new, of course. And of course,
new.
you know, younger producers doing all sorts of different things.
Totally.
And I guess music, as translatable as it is, regardless of where you are on the planet, you know, there's certain things depending on culture that people always interpret differently, you know what I mean? Jaron, welcome.
Thank you.
And so, so you are the filmmaker in the family.
Yes.
And here you are. Now, I understand there was a little bit of Dad had to nudge you a bit and say, hey, man, you know, I've been doing this, and you've grown up, obviously, watching him. And here you are. You have directed his music video. Tell us about the experience.
It was an absolutely amazing experience for me. I considered it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kind of make something for my dad. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to do justice to the song and to kind of do justice to the script.
Did he have any input?
Any idea?
Like,
no, he was actually touring the whole time when we were shooting it.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, I just really wanted to make something that I could be proud of.
Fantastic. And are you proud?
I'm so proud. This is a wonderful story.
Yeah.
It was shot in Deep Sloot informal settlement.
Sure.
All the community was involved, and it's a very uplifting story.
Fantastic. Just, Jaron, I mean, we obviously know of your dad, though, in, you know, public space and whatnot. What kind of dad is he, having supported, you know, yourself and your brother's careers up until now?
Yeah. He's an amazing dad, as you might expect. You know, I've kind of, over the years, realized how lucky me and Jesse are to have been exposed to his world, and you know, he is just an amazingly positive force in everyone's world. Yeah. And it's something, you know, it's something I aspire to be in everything I do. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, that's a heart-stringing moment over there, you know. But Johnny, and just your music. Look, all your best-loved songs have been remixed on this album. Scatterings of Africa and all of those. And I mean, just you were that guy. I remember as a little kid, it was like, oh, he's like a white guy who's like singing in Zulu. You know, and at the time I couldn't even understand a word of Zulu. And of course, you know, your experiences are part and parcel of the community that you've worked with and the people that you've shared stages with. Tell us about some of your most fondest memories at a time when there wasn't the whole digital thing, when, you know, social media wasn't as it was, but you made the music because of the love and the passion that you have for it.
I'm writing an autobiography now, and writing it, I think the most amazing years were the Juluka years, which were 1979 to 1985, because that was when we were struggling against the forces that were running the country to create a conversation between South Africans singing in English and Zulu on the same song, which was unheard of at the time. So we broke a lot of boundaries, and creatively for me, that was, I think, one of the most exciting times. The Savuka period was really a much more politicized period. It, you know, it came out in 1986, state of emergency. So a lot of the writing and sentiments were based around the struggle that was unfolding around me. I lost a lot of friends in the political violence.
Tough times.
Tough times.
And when you look, though, at about 30 years ago and now, what are your feelings about now?
You know, I have a long view of history, and all of the machinations and things that are going on now, you know, I have a certain reservation and distance, because I think that these are all part and parcel of a country working out its way forward. So I feel very positive about the country. I feel very positive about what the future holds. I am amazed that we still have such an incredible vibrant and critical self-reflective culture in the media, TV, radio, and that it's part and parcel of the air we breathe. It's a fantastic part of what South Africa is.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. I definitely will be downloading your album, Mr. Clegg.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, absolute honor having you here. And Jaron, I want to see your music video. I want to see a little bit of your work, and congratulations to you, and all the best as you leave for LA soon, as
Thank
you
you
said.
so much.
Pleasure
Appreciate
meeting
it.
you as well. And yeah, here we go. Watch that video, directed by JC Jr.
My heart away, take my heart away, take my heart away. Take my heart away.
welcome back. You're watching Trendz. Thank you so very much for that amazing video. That's Johnny Clegg's new music, and that was directed by his son, Jaron Clegg. Now, in its 4th year and taking place at Johannesburg's iconic Turbine Hall in Newtown is the Turbine Art Fair from the 14th to the 17th of July. Now, this art fair aims to promote new work and talent, not forgetting to create a new art audience and collective base. Now, exhibitors have been invited to showcase their contemporary artwork, and visitors will also be able to take part in the daily interactive talk program by Art Insure. Now I'm sitting here with the MD of the Forum Company and organizer of the art fair. This is Glynis Hislop.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Pleasure having you here, Glynis. 4 years later, going from strength to strength at such an iconic building. And you were just laughing earlier, as I said to you, I mean, with a name like the Turbine Art Fair, it can never really move from the Turbine Hall, you know what I mean? Fantastic space that always, I mean, people reinvent it and recreate their kind of space every time.
Well, hopefully it'll be re-energized and full of lovely, lovely things next weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. Tell us just about, you know, the art fair for people who don't know this particular art fair, because there are several that happen throughout the year in Johannesburg and other places. So what is it that makes this particular one stand out?
Well, there are two things. First of all, we have a price ceiling. So all the works are under 40,000 Rand. And second of all, we use it as a platform to try and encourage or to make people more aware of young artists. So it's a space for emerging artists.
Yeah.
It's also, one can also buy paper-based works from very, very famous artists.
Oh, right.
As you know, paper-based lithographs or things are often less expensive.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay, and that's the thing about art, though, that some people might just say, oh, well, art fair, it's not for me, or you know what I mean, it's too expensive. So how are you making it more accessible to people? As you said, you want to get a bigger audience and also establish a wider collector base.
Well, first of all, I think it's a great place to learn more about art in a very accessible way. So we have nice music, we have a lovely place to go and have a glass of wine or a cup of coffee so that you can think about what you've just seen. It doesn't feel like a gallery. I think it feels more like a...
And galleries tend to be cold sometimes, and you know, you're not sure if what you're looking at is the right way of interpreting something. But this sounds like more of a, you know, creative space where people just flow easily and everything just blends all together.
So we're trying to show people, I think the more you see, the easier it is to learn things.
Right. Tell us about some of the artists who will be exhibiting this year.
Well, there's a full gamut, as I said, from some very famous ones. One of the, we've got a few really interesting special projects. One is supported by RMB and VANSA, which is the Visual Arts Network of South Africa. And they've done this for 3 years, but they've changed it a bit this year and actually gone through a program of mentoring people first and now putting those works on the show. So that's always exciting. There's a graduate painters exhibition, which is the best of the graduate painters from the universities.
Okay.
The last year.
So is this the painters themselves, you know, submitting their works, or is it art departments having come together to say...
So one curator has gone around all the universities and chosen what she thinks is the best work.
Oh, wow. And let's talk about the 6-month intensive workshop program. You said it's the first year that this will be happening, and what are the aims and goals for that?
Well, in fact, it was done by assemblage with 4 major mentors. So they went through a series of weekly, you know, doing work, being assessed, etc. It's really to take those young artists and give them something that's worthwhile to show, and it's certainly been a great success. There's some fabulous work there.
Fantastic. And whose work are you looking forward to seeing, especially this year?
I look forward to all the work.
Do you have a particular style? I mean, I'm sure your house, you know, and your spaces are like huge, you know, art collectors, you know, havens. So what is it that you kind of like, you know, or do you just have a different and very wide palette?
Well, I like quite abstract works and big works. But it's not. There's something for everyone at this fair, from tiny little works to very large ones.
Okay. Will there be sculptures as well? And
some sculptures. You know, we also have some installations, so people can see what an installation is. We've got an interesting show from the Johannesburg Art Gallery, showing a very contemporary South African artist with a Spanish artist from over 200 years ago.
Oh, wow.
All about political issues, and it's funny how things really stay the same.
Very, very interesting indeed, and always great to see, you know, artists expressing themselves through their art. Glynis, tell us the social media platforms where people can find out more info.
Facebook, Turbine Art Fair. Our website is www.turbineartfair. Instagram, Turbine Art Fair.
Okay.
Twitter, Turbine Art Fair.
Turbine Art Fair. That's the 14th to the 17th of July. Thank you so very much, Glynis, and thank you for being here. You look lovely in your trending pink lipstick.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. All right. Now, Nigeria's urban music scene is one of the most vibrant on the continent, producing some of the most bankable artists. Now, a popular radio station in Lagos, Nigeria, has taken Nigerian beats overseas, the UK to be precise, providing a platform where African music will be readily available to a growing market.
Each night, as darkness falls on Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, young men and women descend on the megacity's numerous nightclubs to dance to the latest hit songs. Much like the famous Nollywood film industry, music is now big business in Africa's most populous nation. It is said the country's entertainment and media industry had an estimated total revenue of $4.8 billion in 2015 and is likely to grow to some $8.1 billion in 2019, making it the fastest expanding major market globally. Artists who sing and rap over electronic backing tracks in a genre known as Afrobeats have seen their popularity in Nigeria spill over into record sales and sold-out concerts across Africa and in both Britain and the United States. In May, Wizkid, one of Nigeria's most popular artists, reached the top of the US single charts in a collaboration with Canadian rapper Drake. It is not the first time Nigerian music has found popularity overseas. Singer Fela Kuti established a cult following in the 1970s among fans of his high-octane sound fusing brass instruments, organs and guitars. But the new wave of artists such as D'banj, Tiwa Savage and P-Square have developed a broad fan base that has made music a major cultural export for the West African country.
With the advent of social media, you know, the music is sort of more readily available outside beyond the shores of the country. And I think that's a good thing. It's only going to be a good thing for the Nigerian music scene, because when you look outside and you see best practices in terms of sort of creating structures of how a record label should work, music publishing, you know, it's only going to help us to sort of better our own industry. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive development that, you know, that the landscape is sort of, you know, it's going out there.
Some argue that if properly harnessed, money raised from Nigerians' bargaining music scene could be used to address the nation's economic difficulties.
I believe solely, like this is my own belief, that if we have structure, we will make more money than what we have now. We think we're making money, but if you have more structure and a more organized system, everybody knows where money is going to. Everybody knows how much you make for this and that and that. But we are just here. I think the highest source of money for us is shows and endorsement. It can get better. We are over 150 million people. 150 million people consume music in one form or the other.
Artists can pay taxes, you know what I'm saying, and taxes will help with, you know, building roads and creating electricity. And it's not only about music; it's everything. You know, we need to like establish a collecting society, so that when radios play the songs, they pay. You know, when brands use your music for their products, they can pay the artist, and you can see that it's going actually to the artist, you know, and then something goes to you as the government, you know, to help build, you know, a good country.
Collecting tax revenues is difficult in most sectors in a country where around 80% of the workforce are part of the informal economy. However, in the last few years, the majority of Nigerian music industry earnings have come from telecommunication firms for the use of mobile ringtones and from other corporations through brand endorsements as well as music downloads.
Nice one. Always big things coming out of Niger from their entertainment scene. And now a popular theatrical production at this year's National Arts Festival is a biographical piece on the life of Can Temba, a brilliant mind of the 60s who some like to call an intellectual tsotsi. Now brought to the stage by the powerful multi-award-winning actor Sello Makeka-Ncube, the production titled The House of Truth reveals the life experiences of the writer and the journo, one of the drum boys, who sadly died in his early 40s.
Of us who've been to school, the situation.
Wit, humor, and a deep sense of irony. A fitting celebration to one of Fortes University's most literary alumni and one of this country's greatest journalists, Can Temba. Temba's complex life story is interwoven with his troubles with the Transvaal Department of Education, which in spite of Temba holding a degree, was unable to find employment. It exposes the injustices and inequalities faced by young graduates.
I think there is a lot of interrogation that artists can do that no politicians would do. Because politicians have to deal with facts. And with actors and artists, it's all about the emotion. And people function on emotion. And once you tell a story that captures... They call those of us who've been to school the situation.
Wit, humor, and a deep sense of irony. A fitting celebration to one of Fortes University's most literary alumni and one of this country's greatest journalists, Can Temba. Temba's complex life story is interwoven with his troubles with the Transvaal Department of Education, which in spite of Temba holding a degree, was unable to find employment. It exposes the injustices and inequalities faced by young graduates.
I think there is a lot of interrogation that artists can do that no politicians would do. Because politicians have to deal with facts. And with actors and artists, it's all about the emotion. And people function on emotion. And once you tell a story that captures their emotion, you know, emotion would ultimately lead you to start interrogating your own mind. And I think until we realize that we you know, as artists, that is our purpose, to be the instruments for mind liberation and the liberation of the soul. You know, the country will remain where it is.
Socio-economic issues such as racism and the effects of segregation on black people, also topical issues, and the ripple effect of apartheid post-democracy. The play brought people from all walks of life together and is seen as hope to bridge the divide.
I was looking forward to seeing him because I grew up watching him, and also it was really just refreshing to see a very unique take on life during apartheid.
I thought it was great. I thought it was very thought-provoking, very evocative of the time and place in which Can Temba found himself. I thought the acting was great. I was admire, one-man acts.
Learned a lot about segregation in the American context, and being in South Africa and learning about post-apartheid and even during the apartheid, how those contexts were. And to contrast them, I thought was amazing.
You must know one thing, this fight is not only for us today.
Silo also says he hopes that the play will also help to deal with the current racism incidents in the country. Lerato Tipa, SABC News, Grahamstown.
Welcome back to the last stretch of Trends. It's not over yet, because this time around we're talking Durban's Greyville Racecourse, which was the place to be at last week when over 50,000 people went down to Durban. And it was the Durban Vodacom July, and the theme for this year was Leader of the Pack. As always, when you have a big thing like this, I like to call in my girl, Rhea. She's here to do our fashion policing. And I also have Leroy Mark. Welcome, Leroy.
Hello.
First time you're here. I'm glad. Every time when there's somebody else boss sitting next to Rhea, yeah, like there's been some heated debate. No. She behaves when she's by herself.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad you guys are here talking the Vodacom July. Let's get straight into it because, you know, we always run out of time.
Yeah,
when this happens, we always do. So let's start with the guys because that's something else that we always, you know, run out of time on. First up here, Andile Ngube, SABC sports presenter. Did he get it right?
He looks like he went to work. He looks like he was going to
I was about to say that. SABC Sports.
Yeah.
SABC Sport, we're going live soccer now behind me. I think that's exactly what is happening.
And it doesn't help him that he also went with this like monochrome look because all we're seeing is a grey suit.
Exactly.
Groundbreaking. And a blue shirt.
And a blue shirt and everything is just neutral and everything was just...
No, so no.
Okay. He represented the weather, not the theme.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then next up, I want to talk about a guy who surprised many people. But it was a pleasant surprise, right?
Right.
So yeah,
I think he looks good. I think he looks dapper.
You know what? So we know him from his time on Muvhango, and where he dresses atrociously.
Yeah.
This is not a good look generally, but it's a good look for him.
For him.
Because it's still a bit shiny, still wearing a bib as a waistcoat. You know, I mean, the concept was there. The suit is ill-fitting as well. You can just see from under his arm.
But,
Leroy.
But, exactly. I was going to say that when someone does well, let's give it up. So I mean, we criticize them so much about how they wear funky clothes and how they not do well. He went out. He's not the guy that goes to events.
Absolutely.
He went out for the first time and he pulled it off.
For the Vodacom July
I think
he looks better than this.
He did.
He does.
Oh, wow.
He looks way better than
Tapelo.
He looks better than Tapelo. And this is a socialite face that is everywhere at events and he knows what to pull off. He didn't put an effort. He didn't do anything.
Maybe because he's so busy because he has been like...
Well, I mean, no, everybody's busy, but when you know, I mean, Durban July is an annual event and you know it's coming and you probably got your invite in March that you come to Durban July. Throughout the 3 months, what have you been doing? You know you've been shooting a movie, which is great, well done, it's got 2 million hits.
Yes.
Now show us why you got 2 million hits.
I'm hurt about this because he's a great body.
Exactly.
Has impeccable height. And I think whoever dressed him kind of took it easy because, remember, the theme is leader of the pack.
Yes.
He might be going as a gangster boss.
Yeah, but no, not
but
really.
It was just
He
underwhelming.
didn't try.
It was just, okay, so no for Tapelo.
No.
Okay, let's go on to the ladies. We like the ladies. There were so many different styles. People interpreted their own leader of the pack thing. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, like
none of them got the theme right.
But okay, they look lovely. Never mind the theme. They look lovely though.
Let's go to the loveliness. Bonang as usual.
As usual.
Sorry, but I actually have a huge issue with that dress of Bonang.
Really?
Well, because she was hitting 2 different events altogether.
Okay.
So it's very floral. So I would love to know where she was going with it. What was the theme for it? Because she's got the big sort of Marilyn Monroe hair. She's got this off the shoulder, very 1920s, 1930s.
Trying to kill 2 birds with one stone.
No,
but
but remember, for the first time, Leroy, she's been having stylists, but she's been flying in stylists.
Yeah.
Now she went straight up at home, at the background of her house. Gerrit is a designer. So Gerrit was like, no, I'll give you what I think I want to explore and let's see if you wear it. And I know if you wear it, the whole world will follow.
I'm sorry,
but the past times that she's been cracking things is because she's been hiring stylists. And that's one thing we always say for celebrities. Hire a stylist and see how you're gonna get the theme right.
But Ria, this is completely off the wall because remember, leader of the pack, you are the foremost fashion celebrity in the country. I expected so much more from her.
Really?
I thought she was going to a garden party. That hair was completely horrid with that weather.
Okay,
so
with the other ladies though, quickly, I didn't like Boiti's hair. I think Dineo looked lovely, but that's just me.
Yeah, I liked Boiti's dress. I think she looks better with the short hair. And I know with Dineo's look, that's
really
very on
isn't
trend
that a copycat of something?
We have run out of time, guys. We have run out of time.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, though,
Melody is wearing the same dress, similar dress that she wore at the
the best of these looks is
the best of them. I would go.
For me, it's a famine of beauty.
Yeah.
Famine. I love Zinhle with my heart, but that yum lipstick, no thank you.
Guys, we have run out of time. Thank you so very much. Bye, guys. We ran out of time. Oh my gosh, always lots to discuss on Fashion Police. Thank you so much for watching Trendz. Catch me next week.